I would like to address a little bit in this clip the problem of growing specialization in the human knowledge. The problem is very vast because and very serious because usually you more and more we have the situations in which we are confronted with people who know absolutely everything about a very narrow group. I think, and I have my hope is in the internet, and I agree in this point with Al Gore, for instance, who said that internet has very huge advantage over television. Television is usually one channel tells you this, when the another channel would tell you that. CNN would tell you to vote Hillary Clinton. Fox News would like you to vote Trump. And all the information that are subjected to these narrow political views and opinions and agendas. And whereas internet is the battleground for any ideology, and the elites usually despises internet. The elite usually despises internet because internet is something that has no respect for professors' titles and so on. There's much rubbish in the internet also, but all these taking considered, I think internet is still a very good thing that happened to humanity, because you have the opportunity to even for a Fachidiot, the Germans call from the 19th century on, they call person who know only something about his own scientific or domain and nothing about the outside world, a Fachidiot. Fachidioten were the people who were very naive, usually, towards as far as the information from another domain were concerned. So they were very, very naive because they knew absolutely nothing. They spent all their time to study, I don't know, the Egyptian miniatures or something, and then they, what do you think about El Greco? Who? What do you think about Putin? Who? All right, so you get what I'm talking about, and so that would be the classical Fachidiot. And internet is the instrument for people who are so deeply digged into their own narrow domain of knowledge that they can very easily accumulate some information about the outside world, about the other domains of knowledge, and that's a very positive thing, I think. So I'm a historian. I'm trying also to be specialized in the political science because it's some sort. It's connected with each other because I was specializing. I am specializing as historian in the history of thought, of political thought and culture. So it's it's connected to the political science. And I also have some interest on music, on culture, and so on and so on. And sometimes I usually try to be surrounded by people who know something from various domains of knowledge, from various sciences, various domains. But sometimes I came across people who really have some problems with reasoning on one thing because they are very because they are used to think in a very special way, which works fine within the domain, but not so good outside of this domain. So, for instance, the problem is, for instance, with the political scientists who claim very often that sometimes happened for the first time, that this happens for the first time. Almost nothing happens for the first time. As the Romans said, nihil novi sub sole, nothing new under the sun. For instance, when you have postmodernism, the exactly valuable narratives, so-called, that you have many narratives. There's no objective truth. You have only narratives, and they are all equal. They are all equally fine. That's basically postmodernism. You have the same papers when he said that all people are kind of right about everything because they look only on a small particle of reality. So they can be right, all of them. They could be right in the same time. Of course, the Leibniz believed that there is some, I don't know, God and absolute truth. Everybody could be right, and it's not the case. Not everybody could be right. You have a problem, and some of them are more right, and some are less right. That's what happens in reality. So it's postmodernistic approach, sort of. So nihil novi sub sole. The same, for instance, I have a friend who is a psychologist, and his approach with terms used in political science very loosely. For instance, he says that now Poland, under our today's nationalistic government, is a fallen nation, a fallen state, and it's a democrature. So it's a dictatorship which only pretends to be democracy. Neither. Poland is a democracy still. It's nationalistic, more nationalistic, because the nationalists won the election and the liberals lost. But it's not not a tyranny that pretends to be democracy. We have still elections, we have a free press, and the people can form their opinions. We have exact the same amount, more or less, of propaganda on both sides, opposition and coalition. That's normal. That's democracy. That's nothing like Putin's Russia, when you have all free discussion is banned. The censorship of the press is very harsh. And it's not just that you publish something and that then it would be censored. No, it's not the case. Sometimes you have to seek advice from the government if you can. You have to, for your own safety, to speak with the government if you can publish this or that. So you have the very harsh censorship, no free press, no free opinion. So that's the country who only pretends to be democracy. Poland is a real democracy. Not so liberal, because the nationalistic values are now on the high, and the liberal has lost the election. We are also definitely we are not a fallen state. The fallen state is a term used to countries. To the case the term fallen state, fallen nation is used in relation to like Libya or Afghanistan, when you have no central government, everybody fights everybody. That's the fallen state. We are not a fallen state. So not to be Fachiodioten, we must try to understand what the words are really meaning, and to understand each other better, therefore better.